2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. And on tap tonight, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Dallas Mavericks. For Dallas, their first time playing these guys this season. A year ago, going 1-2. They'd like to improve on that this go-around. And what a beginning to the season we've had. Some amazing plays, some huge games. Shaq, for the teams that have gotten out to a fast start, how do they go about maintaining that momentum?
Well, it's called PPM, Ernie. Perseverance, physically and mentally. Put your hands up, Ernie. Put your hands up, Kenny.
Okay.
Touch it.
All right.
Join hands. You just got to ride the wave and don't overthink it. Bring it back, Kenny. Oh, there you go. Ride the wave. Don't overthink. One last time. Ride the wave. There you go.
Oh,
Bring it back. Yeah, and
I
then
think
ride
I get it.
the wave. Yeah,
I
you
got it.
Good.
I call my hands.
What
Ernie.
does that have to do with maintaining that momentum?
You got to ride the wave, Ernie.
Oh, okay.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Well,
Have you got something that doesn't require physical demonstration?
Well, I just say that your hands were very soft. I just want to say that. You do a good job of, moisturizing.
Moisturizing.
Yeah,
yes.
you do.
You know what it was? It was some of that Gold Bond. Man up, Ernie.
Oh, my goodness, man. Well, let's just keep improving and see what happens.
Let's go courtside. Kevin Harlan has the call.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The Star-Spangled Banner, sung by musical artist Linda Lynn. Welcome, everyone, to this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge is our sideline reporter. And also joining us on the sidelines, the league's most valuable player in 2004, Kevin Garnett. KG, it is great to have you with us.
Kay, how you been, man? It's good to see you,
Waiting for you to sit right here next to us. That's what I've been waiting
man,
for.
thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Can't wait to get inside your impressions of this game. It'll be a lot of fun. Last game for the Timberwolves, they picked up the W against the Pelicans in New Orleans.
And look, it's always tough to win on the road. You've got to go in with the right mindset, and they did.
I think, Greg, they didn't let the crowd or the noise get to them, and they have to be happy with how they played and executed on the road in that one.
We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, Jimmy Butler survived a tough upbringing in Tomball, Texas. He said, that's all anybody ever wanted to talk about. But I don't want that to define me. If I'm stuck in the past, then I won't get any better. I won't change. I'll get stuck as that kid. That's not who I am. I'm a great basketball player because of my work. Guys?
Thanks, David. You can tell Butler has a good head on his shoulders, an elite talent in this league because of the hard work he puts in. Hey, Kevin, when you play with Andrew Wiggins, you saw firsthand just how explosive he can be. What impresses you most about where he is right now and where he could go?
Man, Andrew's potential is through the roof. I've told him this countless times that when he wants to, he can. There's nothing that he can't do. It's just about his consistency and how he sees that, man. I told him, man, the world is his. I've yet to see a player in our league that has the athletic ability that he has, mixed with the IQ and being able to be players on both sides of the ball if he wants to. This kid is super long. He's fast. He's deceptionally fast. Like, I don't think people know how fast he really is. Great shooter, has a great IQ, not a good IQ, a great IQ. I told him, man, I would like to see him with a little more oomph in his step. But if you know Drew, he's laid back. He's super cool. He's smooth with it. And his game reminds you of Steve Smith. And when Smitty used to, rock people to sleep, he has a very good patience to his game.
We got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the court for the Mavericks, Smith Jr. runs the point with Matthews at his side. They're the backcourt. Barnes at the 3 with Dirk at the 4. And it's Noel in at the center. Noel sets a screen for Matthews. And it's Smith missing. And Kevin, do you think you gravitate towards those young players because you were in their shoes at one time as a very, very young player in this league?
A little bit, but more importantly, I see it. I see it in him. I see it if he pushed through a little bit, and
you know it. You spot it.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you know what you see in young talent, you see it when it's there. When it's right in your face, like, holy, here, go get a rebound, put it back, dunk the ball, steal it, dunk it, come back down, and then be like, huh? You know, I often wonder how much Drew is actually stimulated. You know, he gets bored very easily, but when he turns it on, he is one of the best, and he's going to be one of the best in our league to come.
And Kevin, your last couple of years, you got to mentor some young players. Karl Anthony Towns comes to mind. How good do you think he can be?
Man, Cat is the next. He is what I call the next of the next. Yes, he has the pedigree. He has the work ethic. He has the IQ. Most importantly, the desire. You know, when you talk about players being better, I always like to think about if players know history. He understands history. He's been here before. If you follow him through his high school years, he's always wanted to be an anchor. He's always wanted to be a very informative person. He looks for knowledge. He seeks a lot of knowledge. He wants to know what he's up against as far as history. Who am I chasing? What's his number? How many rebounds did he get? What did he do his rookie year? That's what's driving him.
Barnes kicks to Smith. The 3. Rebound by Butler. Timberwolves have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. You talk about Karl Anthony Towns and his willingness to learn. You can't be great, I don't think, Kev, if you're not curious. And I always thought that was one of your best qualities. You were always curious.
Listen, I was super curious, and I always chased that curiosity. Not only that, I started to put the work ethic with that. If you don't put those things together, well, I would always tell him, be humble. Don't ever get to the point where your arrogance, starts to take over. Let your arrogance be on the court and what you're doing and how you're playing. Control your breathing. The young fella has a lot of good bones. I love his makeup. I love the fact that I had a year with him to teach him perspective, to teach him mentality, to teach him that you got to come in here and work on this every day. And the day that you don't, someone has advantage. And he pushes himself. Karl Anthony Towns he's from the pedigree, man. He's one of them ones. I like to think that he's under the umbrella. He's one of my young brothers, man.
And that one misses.
And the problem for Wiggins, a former overall #1 pick, people always seem to want more from him, whether it's warranted or not.
And he sinks the second. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not.
Listen,
age.
Man, listen, I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man. What's your secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you, seriously?
Broadcasting the NBA, 20 years and then 12 years with 2K.
Man, you're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best. You understand, my dude?
That's why we've got you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you? Man, especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. Hey, there's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they ain't got to do this. They know.
From the baseline. The Mavericks pull it in.
Yeah, coming off that screen, wide open, just can't convert.
Well, I think, Greg, that's exactly what you want. The screen was solid. The execution just fell a little bit short on the shot.
Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
Kev, I could tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here. To the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense, Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. Right. And that's how that felt.
So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe.
And the explosive athletic nature of Smith's game, really exciting. Just a guy at the point with a ton of upside.
And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's a beautiful jam.
What a remarkable vertical. Nerlens Noel demonstrating what a sensational athlete he is.
And the replay presented, of course, by Under Armour. Unleash chaos. Great stuff and some great basketball going on. Towns down low. Noel on him, and Towns gets it to go. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Dude. Brian Dew, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Really a good season for him overall last year when you look at the number, 83% from the line.
And the free throw is good, now leading by 1. And KG, you're retired from the game now, and you're stepping into the broadcast business a little bit now, aren't you?
Man, you see me?
You
know what? Area 21 is something that is authentic. It's me. I'm having a great time watching the games. It's really cool being a fan now. I can root for people I want to root for. I don't have to worry about preparing and who I'm a guard, and I'm getting the tea. So you know what? It's a great time. It's work. It's not just you go on there and you have a bunch of fun. We actually get some things done, and but we have a great time, man.
You're a natural.
Hey, Kev, listen, watching you, being around you, man, the great rest in peace to Craig, Ernie, Charles, all these great influences, man, has definitely helped. Not just me, but our younger generations of broadcasters, man. It's totally, I didn't see this being my lane, but I'm having fun with it.
Doing a great job. Teague, the pass to Wiggins. Lets the 3 fly, and it's Noel with the rebound. Noel's got his third rebound tonight. Curry outside, kept alive. He can't get that one to fall. Last game for the Mavericks, it was a loss to New Orleans. Butler dishes to T. And Butler gets it to go on the assist by T. Butler's got his second bucket of the night.
Man, this thing is just going back and forth tonight.
Neither team wants to give an inch. This is fun. Both teams trying desperately to seize the momentum.
Here's Noel. That one's not going to go. Towns with the defensive effort. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. No, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Muhammad, he's checked in for Wiggins. Crawford comes in for Jimmy Butler. And Brooks subbed in for Jeff T.
I tell you, as good as he is at the line, it allows him to invite contact when he's down low.
Towns with the steal. And now Minnesota on the fast break. 16 feet away. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Crawford's got his first bucket in this one. And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, you know 2K is always loud, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, see, Webb was kind of he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe, you know, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. You know, at the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, you know, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off and showcase it.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh my God,
but look at what happened,
bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
Patton, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Muhammad, the pass to Patton. And here they come. Here's Finney Smith. That one misses. And it's the Timberwolves taking it the other way. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing. Wow. Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
And the Timberwolves with possession. They're on a 15-5 run. Crawford kicks to Gibson. Brooks setting a pick for Gibson. To the paint. It's stolen. And there's the call on Shabazz Muhammad. That's his first foul. There's 57 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Correa with it. He's picked up by Brooks. 6 on the shot clock. Feeds to Curry. Over Crawford.
That makes him 0 for this quarter, and that has not helped their cause.
And you know what? Call it great defense or a poor offense. Either way, they're limiting their scoring.
I tell you, Kevin, you have to love the intensity that Powell plays with on the glass, using that long body to track down those offensive boards.
Patton the pass to Brooks. And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That's his first foul. Mavericks trail by 4. Curry with it. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. There's the pick. Powell with the screen. Curry kicks to Finney-Smith. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota. Scoring, rebounding. He was all over the place during that quarter. They are riding his performance right now. Back right after this. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I've never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And what do you guys think about Minnesota here in this one?
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
You love that they're making the offense work, right? Making every single thing they try to do hard.
On the court for Dallas here in the second, J.J. Barea is out there with Seth Curry. Then there's Dwight Powell. Then there's Measury. And it's Finney-Smith in at the small forward position. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, Rick Carlisle is one of the most respected head coaches in the league, especially for his X's and O's. But Bucks coach Jason Kidd, who played for Carlisle, praised his disposition. He's never up and never down, Kidd said. There's no panic in him. He gives you that sense of security to go out there and make a play. Kevin?
Gotta love Coach Carlisle, D.A., an even-keel guy who places a lot of trust in his players. Mavericks trail by 10. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, you know, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for measuring. The Timberwolves making a switch here. Zhang's checked in. Dallas also making some changes. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Dwight Powell. Matthews comes in for Curry. And Smith subbed in for J.J. Barea. And he can't hit the second.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
Offensive rebound. Here's Zhang. Lays it up off the glass. Zhang's got his first bucket of the night.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Nowitzki sets a screen for Smith. There's a screen. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? Or how would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I dial, I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And that one misses. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. You know, just say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed at which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this. We're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic because you have to understand that you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right. Muhammad scored the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Kevin, we know how hard the players work. The elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
that
man.
Is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But 4th ref, I don't think it will hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
Crawford drives in. That's tipped. And there's the foul. It'll go on Aaron Brooks. That is his first foul of the game. Some changes for Minnesota. Wiggins is checked in for Muhammad. Jimmy Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Aaron Brooks. The Mavericks also with a sub. Barnes, he's checked in for Dorian Finney-Smith. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy, man. Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of them ones.
Matthews dishes to Smith. The kick out to Barnes. Nowitzki, the pass to Matthews. Dallas moving it around. And it's Nowitzki at the elbow. Smith outside. And Matthews kicks to Smith. He shoots again. He takes it up and lays it in. Smith's got it back down to within single digits for the Mavs. The Timberwolves have gone 5 of 11 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter. T kicks to Wiggins. Rejected by Nowitzki.
And Dirk has always been a bit underrated defensively. Superb length to contest and block shots.
And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, give an understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. And you capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
Teague against Smith. Right side, Butler gets that one to drop. That's his third field goal in 8 tries. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against down low? Let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me, but shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. He was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his I had to because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards. I was able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
And they're getting to the line a lot in this quarter, guys, and it hasn't been by accident.
Kevin, you were so successful jumping from high school to pros. What do you think about the current situation now, the age of 19, the minimum to go to the draft?
You know, I'm always be a fan of the younger kids being able to have the opportunity. I don't like when you put parameters. I could see if college was really teaching these kids and really giving them a solid situation to be able to have something to defer to. But, you know, these kids are not learning at the rate that you would like them to learn in college. And plus, they're not staying in college to these great institutions to be able to apply some of the things they're learning. So I just think that they need...
They're basketball players.
They're basketball players, but they should have the opportunity to take advantage of if you're able to play at 17, 18 like I was. Not saying that every kid's going to have that, but you have obviously the D-League. You have all these multiple leagues throughout the world and where kids go to play. You know, some kids have missed out just because of that 1 year and some mishaps. And you sit here, you can say, you know, for business is good for this. Listen, the business is what it's going to be. We need to develop and have these kids be professionals more than anything. We need to grow them.
Unbelievable. Oh, how about the talent, the creativity? Butler with the highlight reel attack.
Mavericks trail by 7. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you and practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor.
Yes.
You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that this is a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times, or coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that
like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? A little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. Doc, there was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You needed to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, you know, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, you know, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, you know, that's important.
And the Mavericks call time here. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you know, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Cole for a year, or, you know, got to, you know, team at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance to. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
It was.
Going to the Lakers?
My connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. It's what it was. But, you know, Cole,
you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything?
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, he, Ray, you know, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even fun. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual, my boys, and we sit back and watch the game and loving the game.
Yeah. Towns, no luck.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Correa, no good.
You know, in that situation, yes, you've got a wide open three, but it would be a lot wiser to feed the ball to a teammate and get a higher percentage look. I'll tell you, he's been dry from three-point range in the second quarter after hitting one in the first.
Barnes kicks to Powell. Back to Barnes. Dishes to Barea. Releases. And the shot falls short this time.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
And KG, I have to say, a pleasure to have you with us here tonight, providing your great insight and intellect into these broadcasts. Thanks so much for being with us on the show, and I hope you come by again.
Man, can't hold anytime you need me, man. You let me know, man. I'm yours, man. You know what it is.
The great, the champion, Kevin Garnett. And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm, and it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
Now, well over a decade in the NBA for the terrific J.J. Barea. Undrafted, as you know, Doris, out of Northeastern.
Yes, but he can say he's an NBA champion. Of course, the majority of his seasons with the Dallas Mavericks, as was that Title I back in 2011. Listen, there might be a foot of difference in height between he and partner Dirk Nowitzki, but their games have really meshed well.
The Timberwolves again can't hit.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing. And if you're looking for the main reason that they're trailing in this game, well, look no further than his shooting. I mean, he has hit exactly 0% of his shots.
Powell with the steal. And here we go. The Mavericks on a fast break. Here's Finney-Smith right through the D for the layup. Finney-Smith's got 5 points so far. Timberwolves leading by 6.
And this is where you milk the clock.
Absolutely. You use as much of that ticker as you can. That's just good offense.
Brooks dishes to Towns. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Brooks. And that's now 11 points for Karl Anthony Towns. Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. And we are not going to halftime just yet. Officials signaling they are going to review the tape.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, you know, some might say, hey, can't we just skip the replay this time around? But you just never know.
And it looks like they got it right this time. No basket. The clock had expired while the ball was still in his hands.
Yeah, and even if they don't show it, I know the refs are proud of themselves after a replay proves them right. They're like, see, we had it right all along. So good call, fellas.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thank you. Andrew, the energy and effort were apparent throughout that first half. How were you able to do it?
We had a good practice, you know, working hard, really putting things together. Keep doing it and come out with a W.
Hey, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, y'all. Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. It was a closely contested first quarter for Minnesota. Their largest deficit of the period was just 4 points. They were right there within shouting distance the entire time. For the Timberwolves, and Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Well, Kenny knows about this. I used to do this to his team all the time. Take advantage of you down low. Mismatch. Barbecue chicken alert. Make good entry passes. That led to some good looks. Obviously, a lot of points. When you control the paint, Ernie, you control the game. I was the master of controlling thy paint. Shaquille Kiss.
And over to Kenny. Let's get your insights on Dallas.
Well, they're trailing in this game because they're shooting under 35%. Now, I've got to give a lot of credit to the defense, forcing the shooters off their spots and making them feel uncomfortable. But if someone takes something away from you, you have to be able to adapt. So they need a whole new game plan because right now they're in trouble.
And that will conclude our halftime presentation. We take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
The buildings of downtown Minneapolis all lit up on this lovely evening. Welcome back, everyone, to the Twin Cities. And now the third quarter about to get going. We are seeing a tremendous game from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him. A scoring machine here in that first half.
And it's mattered not, Greg, whether he's been spotting up or creating for himself. He was unstoppable, and you hope it carries over to the second half.
Minnesota leading by 8. Down low, it's Jang and Towns. Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. And it's Teague in at the 1 spot. So that's who Tom Thibodeau starts the second half with. Towns, the screen. And Butler gets it to go on the assist by Wiggins. Butler's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Timberwolves. Butler against Matthews. Smith outside. Passes it to Noel. Back to Smith. Nowitzki with the screen on Teague. Here's Smith. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
How about the strength of Smith? Just absorbs contact like a champ and finishes with confidence.
The Mavericks have shot 5 of 8 from the foul line.
And you really got to give them a ton of credit for what they've done at the free throw line this season. How about 82% as a unit?
Smith no good on the free throw. Doris, back in college, you were named to the All-Big East team. What an honor. You've been a broadcaster for Big East games in college basketball. Any players from that conference who would say, in your opinion, are better pros than they were in college?
Well, I think Josh Hart from Villanova would be a player that I'm curious to see what level of effect he has at the NBA level. He's not a guy who's going to blow you away with his athleticism, but all he did at Villanova was win. He's got 1 national championship to his credit. He was an effective two-way player in the Big East. Does he translate to the pros? I can't wait to see.
And Doris, multiple years at the college game, too.
Kevin, I think that perception is changing. There was a time where if you were a 4-year college player, you were frowned upon in the NBA. I think because of the age and experience, GMs and coaches are now looking at those guys who spend multiple years in college in a vastly different and much more positive light.
Very interesting thought. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, "I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times." Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Free throw, good, Butler.
Well, think of this. Back in 2011, Jimmy Butler was the last pick in the first round. He's gone from a guy with a reputation as hard worker to real star.
And he makes both free throws. Rumors about Butler being traded from Chicago were circulating last season. Draft day comes around, and the Minnesota Timberwolves made their move, Greg, to acquire him.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the trade looks great for Butler and the Wolves. Reunites him with Coach Thibodeau, joins an incredibly young core in Towns and Wiggins, and the sky's the limit, I think, for this young Wolves team.
Teague against Smith. Teague, the pass to Towns. Over Noel. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Mavericks trail by 8. Barnes kicks to Matthews.
Boy, you look back on the signing guys of Wesley Matthews in Dallas. 4 years, $70 million for a player coming off an Achilles tear. This is an injury that has ruined many a career. That was a huge gamble for the Mavericks.
First trip to the line for him here.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
First free throw is good.
Well, Wes Matthews, the prototypical 3-and-D guy, an amazing perimeter scorer who loves playing on the defensive end.
Both free throws good from Matthews. Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. Smith against T. Jang dishes to T. They set the pick. Jang a screen and a wide open look here for Wiggins. Another shot, and it's laid in by Jang. Jang's got his second bucket of the night.
Well, the definition of an effort player. Zhang shows off that high motor, converts off the glass. Nice.
Smith kicks to Noel. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. And Nerlens Noel out of Kentucky, slender and mobile and long. And Greg, he can cover ground in a hurry.
Boy, and you can see it in his rate of steals to go along with the blocks. That quickness is a huge asset in today's game. It's all about versatility, both offensively and defensively.
That's good from Noel.
I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. The duo of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler.
So he picks up just one from the line that time. And Greg, the core of this Timberwolves team is Wiggins and Towns. And, you know, rarely do you get to see two #1 overall picks team up early in their careers.
And how about back-to-back years, no less. But I consider Jimmy Butler kind of a foundational piece as well. He's in the conversation for the best shooting guard in our league.
Nowitzki, no good.
He does the hard part, gets through the defense all the way to the rim. I thought the finish would be the easy part.
Teague the pass to Towns. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. And that's 15 points for Karl Anthony Towns. Smith kicks to Noel. Back to Smith. Second chance shot. Count that one in, and the Timberwolves lead is cut to just 5 on the basket from Noel.
Don't you love how Noel just sticks with it, never gives up on the possession, working really hard for his guys.
And there's the 3-second call, this one on the defense.
What's up?
And the Mavericks, such a well-run team, including on the court. They play doors to their strengths, and they don't shoot themselves in the foot.
Right, Kev. By far the best turnover differential in the league last season. They were also first in charges drawn. Third best field goal percentage in the clutch. This is how you claw out wins.
And the technical free throw is good.
Well, there's so much value in how Jeff Teague runs an offense. He's got great speed. He plays hard on both ends of the floor. I think any organization would be lucky to have this guy.
Patton, he's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. The Mavericks also with a sub. Measury's checked in. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. It's going to be on Dennis Smith.
And really one of the quickest guards in our league. Jeff Teague just puts tremendous pressure on your defense when he's attacking the paint.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
Free throw good, Teague. And the book on Teague, Greg, is to make him an outside shooter. You don't want him getting to the rim.
I mean, he's a good finisher around the rim. His outside shooting, although streaky at times, not bad, but not great either.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
There's the dish to Noel. That shot missing.
Oh, you have to love that effort, getting after the basketball, fighting for a possession.
Wiggins passes to Butler. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got 3 assists now in this one. And the Mavericks call time here.
I'll tell you, Gorgui Zhang is improving and becoming a value at the center spot with all that length. He challenges shots. He's got a nice face-up touch. There's a lot to like with this guy.
And we take a look here at the shot chart for Dallas.
Well, they're going to have to look elsewhere for points because he has pulled a Houdini and completely disappeared from the offense in this one. Just no production from him, and nothing seems to be in rhythm for him right now. It's just not his night.
Mavericks trail by 10. And with Zhang's length and touch, you feel comfortable playing him at either the 4 or the 5. And also versatile enough, Doris, to play as a starter or off the bench.
Right. It's hard to find a big man who does as much as Gorgui Zhang. He doesn't necessarily dominate in one area, but this guy always finds a way to contribute. If they think they can give him that shot and get away with it, think again, gentlemen.
T kicks to the middle and stolen by Noel. Here's Matthews, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's on Jeff Teague.
Just an incredible job by Matthews, seeking contact on his way, trying to get the call, and does.
This is his 2nd trip to the free throw line. He misses the free throw. Of course, you've been a color analyst for both men's basketball, women's basketball. Stylistically, what's the difference, in your opinion, between the two, if anything?
Well, I think there are a number of differences. The primary one being athleticism is slowly starting to take shape and more dictate the outcome of success in women's basketball, whereas athleticism has always been a part of dictating the outcome of games. The above-the-rim aspect of the NBA versus, for the most part, the below-the-rim aspect of the WNBA. That would be the primary difference for me.
But the fundamentals, too, sometimes stand out. The women's game, I think, really, you can see fundamentals so strongly.
You can, Kevin, and I think what helped the women's game tremendously was, especially in the WNBA, you had NBA coaches transition to roles in the WNBA, the Bill Lambiers, the Mike Thibault, so they taught that group how to be pros, how to win on that level.
Excellent point. Barnes, second chance shot. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. That one good for 2. Barnes has got 10 points.
Well, smart enough to know if there's going to be congestion in there when he's attacking. Barnes gets to that in-between game.
Teague dishes to Wiggins. Three-pointer, Butler. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
Smith against Teague. From 11 feet away, the rebound by Patton. Patton's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
I'll tell you, if he keeps missing shots, it is going to be a tough night to try to trim this lead. Boy, the defense collapsing and throwing him off balance on his way to the cup.
Barnes can't get it to go.
Well, this is a tough night so far. They'd be smart to rely more on a couple of their other options.
Smith against Teague. Matthews with the steal. Smith on the wing, launches it. They get the rebound. Mejri, the pass to Smith. Over Teague. Off the left rim and out.
And so far this quarter, he's been a little off on his game.
Yeah, scoring isn't coming naturally to him right now. Looking a little bit uncomfortable out there.
For all the great things that Andrew Wiggins does on the floor, he is still working to solidify his defensive game. Never easy, Doris, for a young player in the NBA, and it's something that he knows he can improve upon.
Well, and I think the important piece is Andrew Wiggins is invested in becoming a better defender. And most pure scorers think they can get away with playing average at best defense. Wiggins wants to be known as a complete player.
Free throw good, Wiggins. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Taj Gibson's checked in for Patton. Muhammad comes in for Jang. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Butler. And it's Brooks in for Teague. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Dwight Powell's checked in for Noel. Dorian Finney-Smith comes in for Harrison Barnes. Seth Curry, he's checked in for Wesley Matthews. And Barea subbed in for Smith.
Boy, it's fun to watch the growth of Andrew Wiggins over just a few years in the NBA, right? He can score from multiple spots. He continues to refine that offensive game.
There's the pick. Here's Powell. The rebound by Gibson. Minnesota leading by 6. Here's Muhammad. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. And with Wiggins, the clear development doors in his game has come from how versatile he is at scoring good off the dribble or on the catch and shoot.
Well, and think about it, Kev. For Andrew, that's only going to get better with age. He continues to strengthen his footwork. There's a little bit of DeMar DeRozan and Kobe in terms of his ability in the mid-range.
Minnesota's gotten off to a very slow start from three-point range in the second half. They're 0 for 4. Brooks kicks to Crawford. Over to the wing. It's rebounded by Dallas. It's their first chance this season playing the Timberwolves.
Yeah, and they lost the season series to this squad last time around. Maybe a little extra motivation tonight to show they've improved.
Here's Muhammad. No good. Shot missing. Curry with the defensive effort. Mavericks trail by 6. On up the court. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a three-point play. That's on Aaron Brooks.
And Kevin, I think this is where Powell is really trying to improve, right? Sacrificing his body, taking it right to the defense.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Towns is checked in. And Powell, no good on that one. Doris, what an honor. Inducted into your college's Hall of Fame, something not many of us can say. What does that kind of honor do for the confidence for you personally going forward?
You know what? Providence College is a place that means a great deal to me. So what that Hall of Fame induction did was just remind me of all the special memories that I shared with my teammates. I'm close with many of them today. And Kevin, you know this, if you've ever been inside a locker room, it's those moments when you're laughing until your stomach hurts. I'd say we were the Hall of Fame fun team. That's what I'd say.
I think we're on the fun team here on 2K. Muhammad dishes to Towns, and he comes up with the deuce. Towns has got 6 points in the quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, he's been a go-to guy for them as they've taken this lead, and he keeps coming.
Powell with the screen. Here's Barea. Here's Mesri. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
And they've shown a little extra hustle on the offensive glass here in the second half. Second chance points are starting to add up for them, and they can use every one of them.
And the foul on Dorian Finney-Smith. That's his first foul. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Salah Mesri. Down low. Here's Crawford. Pass to Towns. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Crawford. And a quick look now at the best free throw shooting teams. The Timberwolves, number 1.
You can't be careless when you play them. I mean, no wasted opportunities at the line. It's a team effort, and they're getting it done.
Mavericks trail by 6. A minute 50 left here in the third quarter. Curry attacking. Another shot. And the rejection by Towns.
Well, that play is so much about his reach and determination affecting the game defensively.
And it's Gibson finishing it off.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
Yeah, you know, they may have gotten the feeling he would dish it off, but he had a surprise for them.
Finney-Smith passes to Barea. Nowitzki with the screen on Brooks. With the teardrop, and Gibson sends it back.
Boy, Gibson's so good at timing these rejections. Twice on the pipes from Taj.
Out to Brooks. Towns the screen. Here's Muhammad. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. Hey, Doris, Shabazz Muhammad, a player that has slid nicely into that 6-man role, comes in looking to score, but does so in an efficient manner and can help his offense without taking too many shots.
Right, Kev. You don't find too many 6th men who will come and consistently shoot over 45%. Shabazz Muhammad has done exactly that, and it's rare to have that kind of efficiency off the bench.
Shooting 2.
And that one falls for Muhammad. For the Mavericks, 16 consecutive years of 500 basketball or better. Coming to an end last season, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, it was the beginning of a rebuild. The first time in a long time for the Mavs. And they waived some of their veterans to free up space and court time to further develop those young players. And with how competitive this organization is, you know they'll do everything they can to get back in contention to try to send Dirk out on a high note.
Crawford against Kerr. Gibson the screen. Towns, no luck. Mavericks trail by 6. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And there's the feed to Powell. Curry kicks to Finney-Smith. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Powell dishes to Barea. Clock at 6. And the pass to Nowitzki. Over Gibson. Here's Powell. Whistle on the play. Bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
You love how Powell goes to work on the block, muscles his way to establish himself and deliver.
And he's just had 1 attempt at the line earlier.
And he is a cool customer at the line, guys. You've got to be when you're shooting 84% on the season.
The free throw drops for Powell.
Well, this is a decent free throw shooter, and where Powell could help himself is getting to the line a little bit more.
is Brooks. 3 quarters of play in a close game here. Minnesota on top, up 3. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center. And let's listen to head coach Rick Carlisle review the game plan with his guys.
Hey, if we get a stop and a running opportunity, keep it going. The tempo's really good. Keep pushing the ball.
Rick Carlisle, wanting to make this a track meet, feels that may favor his team right now.
Well, he knows they have some momentum, and he wants to step on the gas pedal here because he knows how quickly that momentum can shift.
And we're set to start the action up here in the 4th quarter, and if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. On the floor for Dallas starting the 4th quarter here. Dirk is the 4 with Noel manning the middle. J.J. Barea is out there with Curry, and it's Finney Smith in at the 3 spot. Barea against Brooks. Kicks it to Gibson. Crawford outside. Gibson against Nowitzki. There's Crawford with the 3. And the 3 ball is good.
The defenders need to recognize the importance of staying on him as we get into crunch time.
It's Noel atop the key. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Taj Gibson picks one up.
And you know, guys, listen, Noel brings value. The reason he's a menace on the defensive end and an absolute warrior on the glass.
And he makes the first. That one is no good. And for all their youth and players who can get out and run, this Timberwolves team, Doris, near the bottom of the league in terms of pace.
Well, I think they want to take any easy transition scores they can get, but otherwise they're going to look to set it up because this is how Coach Tom Thibodeau has always done things. It's an offensive approach that has worked for them.
Nowitzki a screen. Here is Barea. A shot. That's short off the rim. Minnesota leading by 3. Here's Crawford. Gibson passes to Towns. That's a basket. His 8th from the field, 8 of 14.
He may be in his formative years, but Karl Anthony Towns looking like a vet shot maker.
And Noel kicks to Nowitzki. It's good. Nowitzki's got 4 this quarter.
Now is not the time to be giving him that kind of shot.
Certainly not. This is when you want to see tight, aggressive defense, everybody on point down the stretch in a close game.
Towns dishes to Crawford. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession. And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Gorgie Dangs checked in for Gibson. And it's Teagan for Aaron Brooks. Then for the Mavericks, Harrison Barnes. He's checked in for Dorian Finney-Smith. Matthews comes in for Seth Curry. And Smith subbed in for J.J. Barea. Smith the pass to Barnes. Back to Smith. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
T kicks to Muhammad and stolen by Barnes. Now the Mavericks moving it up. Barnes with the ball. And he misses the go-ahead basket.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to give your offense a chance, and that possession didn't do it.
Not at all, Greg. I mean, no reason for him to be taking these kinds of shots. He has only himself to blame.
Butler, he's checked in for Minnesota.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
And that one falls for Muhammad.
And looking at Towns and what he can do on the floor already at his age is impressive. This is a guy who's going to be a 20-10 player perhaps for the rest of his career. And as young as he is, I tell you, the sky is the limit.
Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Teague dishes to Jang. Back to Teague. To the inside. And that one goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Muhammad. And when you look at the second year for Towns, it's comparable to other great big men in the history of the NBA. And Greg, I'm talking about players in the top 50 of all time.
Yeah, I mean, just on the sophomore season stats, he looks like he projects to be one of the all-time greats. Comparable numbers to some of the best who have ever played it. Think of these names: Hakeem, Duncan, Ewing, and the Admiral. Maybe we'll be seeing Karl Anthony Towns as well.
Wiggins right side. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. Mavericks trail by 4. Pass to Smith. Nowitzki against Jang. Nowitzki kicks to Noel. Almost, but it rolls out.
An obvious blunder by the defense that they get away with. Somebody's supposed to be checking him.
Teague against Smith. Here's Butler, and the rejection by Noel.
We know Noel is a superb shot blocker. It may be his best attribute, Kevin.
Minnesota leading by 4. Now Teague. To the paint. Here's Towns. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Towns has got 21 in the game.
On the catch and shoot, just so relaxed. Almost looks like Towns is playing a game of horse out there.
Here's Smith, and the rejection by Towns. Teague against Smith. Teague the pass to Wiggins. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. And now it's an 8-point Minnesota lead.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Nowitzki outside. Noel up top. Shot to stop the... Oh!
My goodness. How about that show of strength from Nerlens Noel? No fear in how he attacks the defense on these shots.
That Unleash Chaos Under Armour replay really giving us a good look at the action. Butler kicks to Wiggins. Over Barnes. Back to Wiggins. Good D by Matthews.
Well, obviously it's been an off night for him offensively, but give his teammates credit. They've bailed him out. He's still got time to turn it around.
He's clearly been the best rebounder on the floor today.
Well, he just works so diligently inside, and the numbers back that up.
Butler from outside. Mavericks with the rebound. Nowitzki's got 13 rebounds in the game. Class eating. Barnes outside. Nowitzki with the screen on Wiggins. Outside Matthews. Sinks the three-pointer. And now just a 3-point Minnesota lead.
That's a really good play call. Right where Matthews wants it. He's a master of the catch-and-shoot game.
Jang a screen. Wiggins kicks to Butler. Towns sets the pick for Butler. Yes, that goes in. Butler's got 19 points.
Well, this is where Butler loves to get to work. Just challenges the heart of this defense.
Smith for 3. Cranes the three-pointer.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
for Minnesota. They've gone 6 of 12 from the field here in the fourth and even 50%. Teague dishes to Towns. And the rejection by Noel to tie it up. Barnes can't get it to go.
It's almost like he's trying to make things hard on himself. You know, he's just got to slow the game down, try to get some easy ones.
Barnes with another miss. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Towns, no luck. Dallas has gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. They get it again. Teague against Smith. Barnes outside. There's a screen by Noel. Barnes against Wiggins. 6 on the shot clock. Nowitzki with the screen on Jang. Matthews goes in over Jang. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. Minnesota in the lead. Here's Butler. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And watching Jimmy Butler, he just offers so much on offense from a scoring standpoint. You know, obviously he can get to the rack and draw the defense to him. Also really improved his ability to knock it down from beyond. Just a complete offensive player.
Shooting 2.
That free throw good from Butler. And Greg, as you said, Butler is a threat to score from any part of the floor.
It's a bit of a dying art, though, hitting that mid-range jump shot. Butler also does a great job of getting to the line. That's increased over the course of his career. Just a well-rounded offensive player.
And so Butler nails both of them.
And just a better job of getting to the line here in the second half. Didn't get there once in the first.
Smith the pass to Barnes. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. 13 points for Harrison Barnes.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
They set the screen. Towns sets the pick for Teague. He dishes it to Towns over Noel. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. Matthews left side. And it's Matthews again missing. The Timberwolves shooting 40% in the fourth. Wiggins kicks to Towns. It's rebounded by Dallas. Smith's got his 3rd rebound on the night to take the lead. Rebound by Jang. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. And Butler gets it to go.
We know this about Jimmy Butler. The guy has no fear. He delivers when his team needs it.
Nowitzki with the screen on Teague. There's a screen by Noel. There's a screen. Here's Nowitzki. Out to Smith. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Well, that's just taking your eyes off the target before releasing the pass. Very careless.
Smith against Teague. He feeds it to Butler. He kicks to Jang. And it's sent back by Nowitzki. 3 from Matthews. And the foul called on Nerlens Noel. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Minnesota leading by 3. And here is Teague. Wiggins outside. Jang dishes to Towns. Over Noel. And the rejection by Noel. Barnes outside. Smith against T. Shot clock at 6. Here's Nowitzki. That doesn't go either for Nowitzki. Minnesota shooting around 37% in the fourth quarter. The minutes starting to wear on them. And T, here we go. It's tipped. Here's Jang. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. And the Timberwolves lead by 6.
Boy, that's terrific vision on the part of Butler. Knows the offense is not created in a vacuum. Keeps the teammates involved. Always puts a smile on their face.
And the Mavericks call time here. They trail by 6. 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And it's been a terrific night for him in terms of the scoreboard. They've run a bunch of sets for him, and he's continued to come through. Scoring as well as he has, it's taken a lot of pressure off the rest of his teammates.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, during the break, I listened in on Rick Carlisle's huddle. And even though they're down, he was confident. He said, look, guys, I've got all the confidence in the world in you. We've been down this road before. You know what we need to do. Kevin, let's see if they can overcome this deficit.
There's the screen. T kicks to Towns. Over Noel. Hits the front of the rim and out.
Well, I love the determination, guys. It's simply not there for him right now.
Smith sinks it. And that shot brings them to within just 1.
Now, that is cold-blooded.
What a shot. He had no fear. I love it.
Well, their pass it to Towns. Connects.
Oh, does he deliver? That is a determined young fellow right there. Karl Anthony Towns.
Dallas calls timeout. They're trailing by 3. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
And right now, you can go for the 2 and then a quick foul, or go for the home run.
Well, you've got to be smart regardless of what you choose to do. You shouldn't just heave the 3 if it's not there. Let's see what happens.
We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Smith dishes to Matthews. Wiggins with the rebound. And Teague, here we go. Count it!
It feels like that one could be the dagger. Not enough time to completely erase this deficit.
Well, Greg, it's going to be tough, that's for sure. A shot like that has to devastate the other team. Oh, with that calm demeanor, Barnes sticks that one right in their eye.
And so they choose to intentionally foul. And so it's the Timberwolves who come out on top here. What a show they put out here at home tonight.
I mean, these are those games that feel so great to win, and really, it's like a knife in the gut to lose. You gotta love being on edge of your seat and just wondering what's gonna happen. How is this thing gonna play out?
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Jimmy, how confident are you that you guys can build on this win and keep the momentum going?
Very confident. Like I said, we got a great group of guys. We play together, play hard, we can win.
I know you'll like to keep that going as we go on in the season. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.